Hello, Facebook. Success Sunday, right? Success Sunday. I'm going to upload this on YouTube. I'm probably going to go live tonight, YouTube live. Probably around 7 Central Standard Time. YouTube, because I love YouTube live. I love the energy on YouTube. So I tagged quite from people in this video. Attorney Kimberly Sweeney in her area of expertise of bankruptcy, Kevin Young in taxes, and Rasheen. I tagged him because he's such an advocate, right, for people to be entrepreneurs and using your credit, your cash flow to build wealth, right, to have assets, not liabilities. So one of his posts that I commented on, and I start there first, then we'll get into bankruptcy and taxes, was, he wanted people to stop false advertising, specifically on this Facebook platform, stated that for $49.99 you could get a 750 credit score and maybe build your cash flow $200 to $600. And so I wanted to make some clarity on the only way that could happen, right? I want to bring some clarity to these posts that you see so freely posted on Facebook of how that could possibly happen. So credit card debt calculates to 30% of your credit score, meaning that if you have a credit card or several credit cards maxed out, you're losing 30% of your score, right? And so if you had a 680 score, for example, you're losing about 18 to 20 points if your credit cards are maxed out, meaning that the preferred range is to keep your balances 7% or low or less, right? Meaning if you have $1,000 credit card, 7% of that would be $70. So $1,000 credit limit, right? And so 30% is ideal, 7% is best. So if it's $1,000, you want to keep it at a $300 and below limit, right? So how, if you already probably at that 680 range, for example, I don't see this happen by disputing and removing negative items, right? Because a collection late pay will decrease your credit score points drastically. But usually someone who use this strategy of paying out in credit card debt are probably in the high 680 range anyway. And so this person's credit profile will not be that of someone of low credit or someone that have a collection charge off a late payment. And let's say that their credit cards are maxed out, or they have a $5,000 credit card, a $2,500 limit. That's 50% of the utilization ratio. And so if this client, for example, utilize the cash flow strategies, and which I call W4 wealth strategies, that can be taught to give themselves more money out of their paycheck legally and bring home more money out of their paycheck and less in taxes, meaning that every employee, if you're not a business owner investor, you're taxed anywhere from 25 to 30% out of your paycheck, the biggest debt that you have existing. But a lot of people are not aware of that, and they're not financially educated. So once you reduce those taxes, you could possibly bring home at minimum anywhere from $200 to $600 more per paycheck, per pay period into your household. And now if you take that extra cash flow that's coming out of your paycheck and apply it to your credit card debt and pay down those credit cards debt, then your credit score could possibly boost up that 30% range, which is 18 to 20 points. For example, if you have a 680 credit score, and now you can possibly go to a 750. But just saying that I sent in letters and things like that to validate debt or whatever to do that. That's very unlikely, because someone that's already in the high 680s would not have low 600 scores, and so those collections and things would, you know, have to be removed and have to be disputed. And so, but if you're a person with very, very bad low credit score, then that strategy would help you pay down your credit card debt, which will help you get those 18-20 points you need. But it's misleading when you tell people that they have to remove negative items, I think, to get that done, because more than likely that would not be the scenario or the situation. So now on bankruptcy. Give me a second. I'm making a transaction here. So Kevin and I, who are tagged in this video, we are looking to collaborate with the expertise of Miss Kimberly Sweeney, right? And this is about all I know about bankruptcy. I'm not an expert, but that's why we have her, and we want her to join our movement on our team. Is because, let's say, for example, and I hope I'm explaining this in layman's terms. Hold on. Let's say, for example, someone files for a Chapter 7 bankruptcy, right? And they file Chapter 7, and they discharge their debts in Chapter 7, and they end up losing everything. Let's say their home. Yes, their debts are discharged, their collection debts, charge-offs, all of that is included. Let's say they have $50,000 worth of credit card and or department store debt, and they opt out to file a Chapter 7, and maybe they have, I don't know, $140,000 in mortgage debt, right? And so I do know just a little bit, I think, and if I'm not saying it right, that's why Miss Sweeney, you know, we're hoping to collaborate with her with our financial empowerment to be on our team. But under Chapter 13, I think, just re-strategizing it, some people, you are able to maybe keep your home. And if you, let's say if you have a second mortgage on your home, then you're also able to keep that second mortgage. Hello, Bruno, what you want information about? The $49 credit score, or any bankruptcy consultation? Because I'm gonna get into taxes, right? Hold on, I'm trying to make a withdrawal. Okay. And okay, here we go. And so let's say that if you go with Chapter 13 as that strategy versus Chapter 7, then your second mortgage, your $50,000 credit card, collection, charge-off debt, all of that can be included, and you can keep your home that may be at $140,000 value, whatever the value of the home is at that time. And so this is why Kevin and I are looking to network and connect with her so that she can bring this financial education empowerment to the people that we serve and that she serves, and so people can know how to use bankruptcy as a financial tool to keep more of their assets, right? And so my job, or my vision in this, is to help people restore their credit. You know, credit restoration. When a lot of people look at credit, you know, the very first thing they think they need to do is, hey, I'm just going to dispute everything negative on here. And that may or may not be, you know, I want to teach people how to use credit to build wealth, or to gain more cash flow, to get assets, and using your credit to leverage that. And that might not be the best strategy for you. You might not need to delete some things. This is the conversation Kevin was having with me yesterday. You might not need to delete everything. You might need to have some things updated, right? So if you have, for example, a 10-year student loan on your credit report, instead of deleting that entire record where it might be showing 90-day late pay, then how about just updating to pay as agreed? Now you keep that positive trade line on your credit report. And so that's the difference between credit repair and credit restoration. And also, I tell people, just don't take a template, right, and start writing in account number, because all of them negative. That's exactly what I thought, disputing everything negative. Yes, y'all. Just a plug and play, writing in account numbers of everything negative. And then you might have some items that's 5 years old, or a 5-year-old collection anyway, that you might not want to dispute. You want to keep that dormant, and you want to keep that like a zombie debt, because it's not hurting your credit score at 2 years anyway. Now, if you're in a situation where you're trying to get approved for a mortgage and a loan, and the underwriter say, hey, you have to get this collection removed from 5 years ago, then in order for you to get approved for this home, then you want to look at removing it, or 3 or 4 collection. So you only want to look at the things within a 2-year window that's negatively affecting your credit report. You want to prioritize, you want to do that. And then the Fair Credit Reporting Act, the FCRA, the Fair Credit Reporting Act was established in 1971. It was established so everything reported on your credit report is reported as accurate information, and that is not reported inaccurately, right? So you don't want to say, hey, I want verification of this negative item. You want the accuracy of it first to see if it was reported accurately, right? Because your relationship with Chase Bank, for example, Chase Bank credit card, has nothing to do with Experian, Equifax, or TransUnion, right? And as a matter of fact, Experian, Equifax, and TransUnion, they don't even like each other. They're in competition like McDonald's and Burger King, right? They're each other's competitors. And so what they want to do is have as much of your negative information on your credit report as possible, because it's very lucrative to them to sell your bad credit to predatory lenders, to loan sharks, so that these people can get astronomical interest rates. And that's something that attorney Sweeney is educating on, is that how you can get these prime lenders and maybe loan agreements that you entered into. I think she said as much as 26% interest rate on sometimes vehicle loans. Just, things of that nature, how through bankruptcy as a tool, you can get that refinance, and refinance at the value of the vehicle, not at the amount that it was sold to you, but whatever the blue book value is at that time, and then get it for whatever the subprime interest rate is at that time. And that doesn't even require good credit. So before you mess up your credit, right, and do something very detrimental and start just listing line items in it and say, hey, I want this verified because it's negative, that would not be my first step if I'm trying to do it myself. My first step is to ask them for the accuracy of the reporting, right? And I would look at everything within my first 2 years, and then I would look at everything 2 years and beyond to see if I can update that to a positive reporting versus getting it deleted and removed altogether. Because once you get negatives deleted, just flat out deleted from your credit report, now you have to rebuild a credit history, because just removing negative items will not get you in the 720 credit score club. Now you have to have positive items reporting as well. And so this is where Kevin comes in. Kevin comes in with taxes, right? We know that student loan debt is like $1.5 trillion the last time I checked. Yes, trillion, not billion, $1 trillion. And so the most thing, and I want to recap and say something that I may didn't say before. Dave Ramsey has a philosophy. I don't believe it's for the middle class. Cut up your credit cards, because for someone making $35,000 a year, or $50,000 to $60,000 or $25,000 a year, the only way that they are going to establish good credit, right, in the FICO world, is through credit card. See, your credit scores are not heavily calculated with installment loans such as your mortgage debt or even your vehicle note, because they already know that these loans are set up for the long-term duration, 30 years, for example, on your mortgage, right? And so it's already set up where, okay, but we can get an accurate understanding of how well your credit is by your credit cards. And so you don't want to teach people to close their credit card department store account. You want to teach them how to use them in a responsible way, because like I said, if you don't, that takes away 30% off of your credit score, right? And so your mortgage loan is not weighed as heavily, those installment loans, as your credit cards. And so the philosophy of cut up your credit cards, close your credit line, for many will not help them establish a great credit score, which will not position them to eventually get assets and to be educated on how they can use credit to build wealth. And so then Kevin comes in. I'm back with student loans, right? The next thing that hurts us of high interest rates, predatory lenders, is our student loans, right? 1.5 trillion. Unfortunately, soon as your 22-year-old child or young adult graduates college, they got debt facing them as soon as they throw their graduation caps off, right? And so Kevin's strategy is to not only show people how they can get more money and lower their taxable income, which means lower your money that you get taxed altogether. We have all types of tax. We have property tax. We have sales tax. You have, again, your taxes out of your paycheck, right? Your Social Security taxes, all types of taxes. But one type of taxes you can't control is your taxes that's come out of your paycheck. And he has strategies that help people, right, lower their student loan payment at least 10% or lower a month, or whatever their income is. And if you can get that debt lower, and if you can get your credit score higher, and if you can learn how to use bankruptcy as a tool to build assets, then you can very well be on the way to financial freedom, spend more family time, not have the frustration of finances, to get out of that rat race of living paycheck to paycheck. And you can build yourself a very successful future when you mix these three components, and when you use them in a strategic way with people that can help you make the most out of. So get your credit score up, right? Learn how to use department score cards. Pay down those debt first. I tell anybody, if you want to raise your credit score, those department store and credit cards need to be paid down first. And then the second question is, where do I get the extra money, right? Dave Ramsey suggests get a second job. No, I suggest these W4 wealth building strategies. You don't have to work overtime. You don't have to get a second job, right? It's right there. As Jesus told the disciples, the gold coin is right here, right under your nose, in the fish's mouth. Go out to the shore, open the fish's mouth. It's right there. It's right there in the paycheck. It's in the job you already have. It's under your possession. And for $49, it is a gateway to get started. So look forward to hearing from us soon. We're masterminding some things. We want to get together to help you in a holistic perspective with financial empowerment and financial strategies, get you out of paying these high interest rates, get more power out of your paycheck, get more tax return, get bigger tax returns, and learn how to leverage this government, right? Donald Trump is a businessman, so you have to learn how to have the business setup that he has to be successful financially in this economy in 2018. There's no other way. Long time other ways of our grandparents are paying everything for cash and not building credit, right? Long gone are us not knowing how to. Our grandparents didn't have these student loan issues right now, right? And Kevin is helping people paying as much as $0 toward their student loans, and it still count as a payment. He's helping people. Attorney Sweeney is helping people that had bad credit, right? And they got in bad situations, and they got vehicles financed at 26%, revamping that, and then getting that through the system of bankruptcy, right? I call it building bankruptcy wealth. And then I'm helping people that now, when you need to get that bankruptcy removed, that charge off remove, that collection remove, when you really want to know credit restoration versus credit repair, right? To use your credit to start buying assets, not liabilities. And to think of your credit in a different way. Hey, I'm signing off. Hit like and hit share, or just pretty much hit the watch party. If you're watching on YouTube, make sure you hit the subscribe and the bell notification button, and take time to hit the thumbs up and the like button if this was any help. And if you coming in at the end of the video, just go back and watch the replay. It was a wealth of information. I'm signing off. Queen of Credit, Miss Coach DeLoach.